What if the chaos you feel isn't out there, but in here? Every day we wake up to noise, notifications, demands, comparisons, fears. The world pulls us in 1,000 directions, and yet the loudest battlefield is within our own minds. We scroll to escape, we binge to numb, we overthink to survive, and still peace seems like something monks and mystics talk about, not something ordinary people live. But here's a question worth asking. If monks are human like us, what do they know that we don't? The answer lies not in renouncing the world, but in retraining the mind. Because monks don't have quieter lives, they have quieter minds. Modern neuroscience confirms what the ancients knew. When you master attention, you master existence. Studies from Harvard, Stanford, and the University of Wisconsin show that long-term meditation and contemplative prayer physically reshape the brain, reducing the size of the amygdala, the fear center, strengthening the prefrontal cortex, the seat of wisdom and discipline, and synchronizing neural networks responsible for empathy and presence. This is the same transformation the Stoics called ataraxia, the Christians called peace beyond understanding, and the Buddhists called nirvana. So today we're going to uncover how you can train your mind like a monk, not by escaping life, but by learning to meet it from a place of unshakable stillness. Let's begin. The mind is a garden. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Your mind is a garden. Every thought you entertain is a seed. Some grow into trees of peace, others into weeds of fear. Monks understand this better than anyone. In monasteries, their first training is not chanting, it's awareness. To notice what thoughts arise, what emotions dominate, and how quickly attention wanders. Modern neuroscience mirrors this. Functional MRI scans show that the average human spends nearly 47% of waking hours lost in thought, wandering between the past and future. This mental drift is directly linked to unhappiness. But mindfulness, sustained attention on the present, reduces this wandering and increases emotional regulation. In Christian monastic tradition, this is known as watchfulness of the heart. In Buddhism, it's sati. In Stoicism, it's prosoche, attention to the present moment. To train your mind, you must first become a gardener of awareness. Ask yourself daily, what am I feeding my mind? Which thoughts do I water through repetition and attention? What weeds have I left unchecked? As neuroscientist Rick Hanson puts it, neurons that fire together, wire together. Each time you redirect your mind toward gratitude, forgiveness, or calm, you strengthen those neural pathways. A monk's serenity isn't genetic, it's cultivated. The art of detachment. Detachment isn't apathy, it's clarity. One of the biggest lies of modern life is that peace depends on control. We try to control outcomes, people, reputations, even emotions. And in doing so, we tighten the noose around our own necks. Monks live by the opposite truth. Freedom begins where attachment ends. Epictetus said, "We suffer not from the things themselves, but from our judgments about them." This echoes the Christian notion of surrender. Thy will be done. And neuroscience supports it. Studies on acceptance-based therapy show that surrendering to reality, instead of resisting it, dramatically lowers cortisol levels and improves resilience. Detachment doesn't mean giving up love or ambition. It means releasing the illusion that your peace depends on them. When you no longer hinge your happiness on what you cannot control, you become untouchable. To practice detachment like a monk, observe, don't absorb. Watch your thoughts and emotions without labeling them as good or bad. Surrender daily. Start the day with a simple prayer, I release what is not mine to carry. Simplify, own less, chase less, desire less. As the Buddha taught, suffering ends where craving ends. Peace is not the absence of emotion, it's the absence of enslavement to it. Discipline as devotion. To the monk, discipline is not punishment, it's devotion. Ancient monastic orders structured their days around rhythm, prayer, silence, work, rest. It wasn't rigidity, it was reverence. By mastering small acts of order, they trained the mind to serve, not sabotage. Modern psychology confirms this. Discipline activates the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for willpower and focus. Over time, consistent routines increase neuroplasticity, making good habits automatic. In a distracted world, discipline is rebellion. The Stoics practiced this too. Seneca wrote, "Nothing to my way of thinking is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is." You can train your mind through small daily rituals. Morning silence before screens. Focused breathing between tasks. Evening reflection instead of endless scrolling. The more consistent you are, the more your brain learns that chaos does not rule you. You rule it. Monks bow before the bell not out of submission, but out of gratitude. Every act of discipline is a declaration. I am not a slave to impulse. The power of stillness. Stillness is not an action, it's alignment. In silence, monks learn to see reality clearly. Neuroscience shows that deep meditation quiets the default mode network, the part of the brain responsible for self-centered rumination. This shift reduces anxiety and heightens compassion. In Christian mysticism, silence was seen as communion with the divine. In Taoism, stillness was harmony with the Tao. In Stoicism, it was the fortress of reason. The modern world fears silence because it exposes truth. But when you sit in stillness, the noise within begins to order itself. Try this ancient exercise practiced across traditions. Sit upright. Close your eyes. Observe your breath without control. Watch thoughts pass like clouds, neither chasing nor resisting. At first, chaos will roar louder, but if you remain, something miraculous happens. The storm passes and awareness emerges, untouched, vast, luminous. This is what monks call the ground of being. It is not somewhere you go, it's what you are beneath thought. The brain in this state produces high-frequency gamma waves, linked to compassion and insight. You don't need a monastery for this, only presence. Stillness is the seedbed of clarity, serving the world from stillness. The goal of training the mind isn't escape, it's service. Monks don't seek peace for peace's sake. They cultivate it to bring light into the world. A still mind becomes a vessel for compassion, wisdom, and truth. Jesus withdrew into the desert to pray, but always returned to heal. The Buddha left the palace, but came back to teach. True mastery isn't found in isolation, but in returning to chaos with clarity intact. Neuroscientific studies show that compassion meditation increases activity in brain regions associated with empathy and altruism. When the mind quiets, love flows more freely. So once your mind grows still, use it. Listen deeply to others. Act without ego. Speak truth without hostility. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more monks in disguise. Ordinary people who've trained their minds to radiate calm in chaos, becoming the monk within. Peace is not found in the absence of storms, but in the skill of sailing through them. The monastery isn't a building, it's a state of being, one you can build anywhere. Every breath, every act of awareness, every surrender to the present moment is a brick in its walls. As the Stoics, saints, and sages all taught, your mind is your kingdom. Train it well, and no external chaos can overthrow it. So today, begin the training. Sit in silence. Observe your thoughts. Surrender your control. Simplify your life. Serve with love. Do this not once, but daily, until the noise of the world no longer dictates the rhythm of your soul. That's how chaos becomes clarity. That's how the ordinary becomes sacred. And that's how you, right here, right now, begin to think like a monk.